Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. This is the first lecture of advanced listening. Let us have a start. In this lecture, we will talk about listening skill, importance of listening skill, types of listening, and also listening comprehension and types of listening comprehension. So, what is listening? Listening skill is the first language skill developed. It comes before speaking, reading, and writing. Listening means not only hearing or receiving the spoken language, but rather it can imply responding and replying to the spoken language more than creating it. So, we can define listening skill as a dynamic process in which the listener has to be able to attend, perceive, interrupt, remember, and respond to the expressed verbal and nonverbal needs, concerns, and information presented by the speaker. Thus, listening is not simple skill in which it requires from the listener to be able to identify and understand what the speaker is saying through understanding his accent, pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and grasping his meaning. The subcomponents of listening that a listener should master when dealing with this skill is as the following. First, differentiating between sounds. Second, identifying functions such as apologizing in conversations. 3. Using previous knowledge in order to predict meaning. Number 4. Recognizing the important ideas and words presented in the passage. Number 5. Giving suitable feedback to the speaker. And number 6. Reformulate what the speaker has said. Although people spend most of the time they are communicating and listen to what others are saying, therefore type of listening required depends on the situations. So in order to be an effective listener in different situations, one should first consider his purpose of listening. In this text, we will have only 8 types of listening. Let us see what they are. The first type is extensive listening, which it refers to listening in order to get pleasure and enjoy listening for something. All the materials in this type should contain the materials which interest the learner and make listening enjoyable for them. Here are some activities that encourage extensive listening: watching movies, listening to radio programs, podcasts, songs, and lectures and interviews. The second type is intensive listening, can be used for the purpose of getting information, solving problems. Therefore, it requires from the learner to use his analytical ability in order to proceed through problem-solving steps. We practice intensive listening in everyday situations and pay attention for specific elements of the text and focus on it, such as phonology and syntax and lexis. So it is used for the purpose of analyzing text. The third one is responsive listening. The learner is encouraged to make response to the text that he heard, and usually the listener response in this type of listening is an effective expressing an opinion or point of view rather than informational giving based on what he was heard. And activities for these types are, for example, asking questions, giving comments, seeking clarifications, and checking the understanding. The fourth type is selective listening. The learner has already planned his purpose and attended to achieve his purpose by selecting specific information from the text in order to perform the task. In intensive listening, listener or learner are asked to listen for names of people, specific facts or events, location, situation, context, dates, and main ideas and or conclusions. The fifth type is autonomous listening, can be seen as independent listening, in which the learner is responsible for the listening process without any help or guide from the teacher. Autonomous listening incorporates all other types of listening: intensive, extensive, selective, and responsive. Therefore, in autonomous listening, the learner manages the input, selection, task completion, and assessment. Critical listening is listening to comprehend and evaluate the message as well as give reasoning of the message. Critical listening enables the learner to judge the message more than to understand it by forming an opinion based on what he or she listened. It's also known as an analytical listening, because the learner tends to analyze the message and judge it. Empathic listening. This type of listening happens when the speaker tries to share his feelings and emotions with others in order to get help from others. Empathic listening is also known as a sensitive listening, since it takes into account the speaker's feeling. Discriminative listening provides the learner with the opportunities to understand and distinguish between words, sounds, pronunciation, and etc. This type of listening enables the learner to concentrate on the features of the message rather than the content. What is listening comprehension? It is a process of understanding speech which depends on the learner's ability to identify the meaning and the purpose of the speaker's speech. It also includes focusing on the role of individual linguistic units, for example, phonetics, words, grammatical structures, in addition to the role of listeners' expectations, understanding situations and topic, and also learners' background knowledge. Listening comprehension can be categorized into three types. Main ideas comprehension. This type depends mainly on the recognition of vocabulary presented in the text in order to comprehend the message. Detailed comprehension. This type involves getting specific information. It may be preformed independently of main idea comprehension, in which the listener knows the information that they listen for. Number three, full comprehension. This is the goal of teaching listening skills, which is understanding the message and the main ideas presented in the speech. Comprehension of the speech does not always require understanding every word or structure. Listening is very important skill and vital aspect of English and other languages, because it enables the learner to acquire language by understanding words, grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, and language chunks. It helps the learner to connect effectively with natural listening situations that may face in real life situations, will definitely stimulate the learners to use language and interact. It also provides the learner with the input for the language acquisition. It also enables learners to think ahead while receiving the message, in which it can facilitate the comprehension of the speech. And it enables learners to use language by giving information in order to build up the learner's knowledge of language, and provides learner with an oral input. This will facilitate the process of language learning. And this is the end of the first lecture. Please don't hesitate. If you have any question or comment, leave it below. Have a good day.